This is Lillian. Tonight, it's about 1 o'clock, a little after one. But I'm coming on tonight. I won't be on here very long, but I wanted to share some things that has happened with me, and I also wanted to give a praise report. Um, as always, let me try to figure out where I can see people talking or people coming in. So give me a minute. Waiting, green screen, retouch. Oh, I don't see it on there, but I tend to do this every single time. Uh-oh, I've done something. Oh, okay. Well, somewhere I guess I'll see it. But anyway, right now I don't see where when somebody comes in that I'll be able to see what they're saying, but I'll keep looking. Maybe I didn't hit something or touch something. But anyway, I want to start off with as in a couple of my videos, you see that I'm not in Virginia right now. I want to talk about what all has happened in Virginia, and then I'm going to come into me being here in Georgia. Um, as we all know, that Dollar Tree has had some different 25-cent sales, and I have gone to a lot of Dollar Trees, and I found a lot of socks. I found a lot of what all did I find? I found socks. I found scarves. I found some. I didn't find gloves. I found mittens for kids. Hi, Roseburg LaRue. How are things going with you this morning? Um, I bought a lot of stuff. I showed some videos of the hauls and then others I didn't show. But anyway, I want to go back there in order to bring back to come to where I am right now. Because I feel like that things that you do, it comes back. You get rewarded. You get rewarded for Adriana. How you doing? I hope I said your name right. Oh, my day has been awesome. My day has truly been awesome. Um, well, I what I did first was when I got all of these socks and I got the hats and all of that, I didn't purchase them for me. Good morning. Well, it's after 1 o'clock. Good morning to everyone that's coming in. Good morning to everyone that's coming in. This is just going to be a praise report video, or praise report live. And I'm just going back over some of what has happened recently that's going to lead up to what happened to me, since it's now the next day, what happened to me yesterday. Well, anyway, I took those socks and I went to church and I asked them how many youth or how many kids did we have in our church, and they told me 45. So I went to Dollar Tree and I got the ornaments. Hey, Miss Sandra. Hi, Jeanette. And anyone else coming in? Come on in. Come on in. I went to Dollar Tree and I bought the ornaments. I bought bags to put them in, and I bought some. They have these. They had these. They were 25 cents as well, but they're affirmation. Like we have our prayer cards, they have a version for kids, and they were 25 cent, and it says it's not a like it's to me it's a kid's version of the prayer cards, and it was, I want to say it's like 32 of them in a box or something, but those were also located in the front of the store. And so when I found them, I got, let's see, because I did 45, I got 2 boxes of those. And in each bag, I put one of those affirmation cards. I gave them some, Sweet Tarts had the candy canes. So I gave them some Sweet Tart candy canes. And then I also gave them the ornament with it, which was the sock was inside the ornament. And then I made it so that the label, I cut the label off, and then I threaded it through the little loop, and I hung it so that each one would hang out. And if they wanted to take it out of the bag or leave it in the bag and put it on their tree, that they could do that. So I did that for 45 of our youth. And then there's a place in our community where this Presbyterian church, it goes, it like, I mean, it's a whole block actually, because it has like 4 different parts to the block. And they have a long fence, a metal fence all the way around. And what they do is they have signs out there, and they say, either bring something and put it on the fence, or you could take something and bring something. And I took about 60 different gloves, scarves, hats, mittens. I didn't take any socks out there that given time, because the other socks I had, I was going to give to another church. And then I recently found out that that church didn't have as many kids as I had socks. So when I get back home, I'm going to take the rest of the socks that I have, and I'm going to go back and put them out on the fence. And a lot of the homeless people know all about this area, and they go over and they get what they need. And well, I did that before. I did that actually the week before I left, because I left this Sunday just passed to come down here to Georgia. And this Saturday, before I came, I went out to look and see, was there any items that I had taken over there, were any of them left? And there were none left over there. So what I feel like when you do stuff like that, God is looking down on you. God is, he's letting you know he sees you, because your heart's got to be right. When I first started buying the all of the socks and the hats and the gloves and the mittens and all of that, I wasn't buying them for me. Right off the bat, I wasn't buying them for me. I was buying them because I was like, who can I bless with these items? And so I was trying right off the bat to be a blessing to someone else. And I feel like when you do that, God bless, first lets you know he sees you. And then he will make somebody end up being a blessing to you. Now, I've been reading a lot of on the Facebook basket community page, and I've been kind of looking at different people's videos and listening to different people's lives of their street selling. And it seems like that a lot of folks are struggling. Some are saying they're not coming back out because they didn't get but 1 or 2 sales. So that's where I want to start at. On last, I left to come here on the 21st. That was Sunday. On Friday, I went out for the first time for Christmas, to do the Christmas sale, to do Christmas street selling. And I was out from 10 until about 4. And that particular day, all I sold was 2 items. But as far as I was concerned, that was 2 items that I did not have to bring back home with me. Was I a little disappointed? Yes, I was. In some aspects of it, was my feelings hurt? Yes, there was. But it didn't make a difference to me because I had still made up my mind. I only sold 2 items, but I'm going back out tomorrow, which was Saturday. And I went back out Saturday from 10 until 4. Well, I sold 4 items that day. So as when you're sitting there and you're looking at it, and I'm saying, okay, in 2 days, from 10 to 4, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4. That was 6 hours. So I spent 12 hours out on the street and I sold 6 items only. Now, I was a little discouraged. I was a little hurt. My feelings was hurt, but it's still, as far as I was concerned, I had to take another stance and another look at this and say that that was 6 items that didn't go back home with me. That I made, I want to say, I think I had a total of 65 or 70 items when I went out. So brought back all the other items except 6. So, but I knew that the next day I was getting on the road. So I packed my truck up when I got back home because I was coming to Georgia and I was taking everything that I had already ready with me to Georgia. And then when I got here to Georgia, I didn't know where I was going to set up at. My husband, my goddaughter, and I sat down and we were talking, and we came up with one spot. Well, we asked permission from this company who had a long strip mall. Could I set up there? And they messaged us back and they said no, we could not set up there. So I said, okay. Well, when I got here, that's when my husband told me that they said no. So I said, okay, no problem. I'll figure out where I'm going to set up when I go out on Monday morning. Well, Monday morning I left out. I left and went out, and I decided, rolled around a little bit, and I said, here's a spot that I'm going to set up. It was in front of, well, not in front of, but in the same parking lot as Big Lots. So I set up right there. Because I didn't have permission or any of that, I didn't bring no tent with me or none of that because I didn't want, in case somebody said you can't be here, I didn't want to have to deal with all of that. So I just bought my table and I bought 2 stackable shelving units that when I go to different vendor events, I put those 2 shelving units on top of my table, which gives me more height and everything. But it all depends. Like I did a couple of outside events and I put them 2 shelving units on top of my 6-foot table. And when the wind started blowing, it knocked all of my stuff off. So I wasn't trying to do that out there either. So when the first day, the wind started blowing, and what I did was position the 2 shelving units against my truck so that it can have the items to have something to lean on. And I went on and I did that. And before that day was over, my goddaughter came out to help me. That was her first time ever being out with me and then seeing actually what I do and all of that kind of stuff. And she was loving it. She was enjoying it, saying she'll come back and help me do it again. But while we were out there, we sold before she left. She left at 3. I shut down at about 4:30. I sold 15 items, 15 baskets that day, which was awesome to me because considering I just only sold 6 when I was in Virginia where I live. So to come there and sell 15 baskets, that was awesome for me. So that already had gave me a hype. That had hyped me up already. When you're coming in, come in. Can you give me some thumbs up, please? I appreciate it if you give me some thumbs up. And then after that, the next day came, which was yesterday. Well, I was a little late coming out because I had some things that I needed to take care of before I came out, but I had planned on staying out a little longer. Well, I got there at about 11:45 and set up. I was set up before 12. And I sat there until about 3:15 or so. And I was talking to one of my friends, and I was telling her, I said, well, I'm gonna give it till 3:30, and I'm gonna go ahead and shut it down if no one comes, because at that time I hadn't sold nothing. And a young man came up, and he asked me, he looked at the different things I had. The highest priced item I had on my table was $150, and that was an Invicta gift set, and it had an Invicta watch, an Invicta bracelet, steel gray cologne set. It had an Eddie Bauer nose and hair trimmer and all of that kind of stuff that was in that one, in that kit. And then it had a Invicta blanket um, along with that one, and that one was $150. Well, that young man bought that basket. He bought another basket that I had that was a lady's basket, and that one was like $55. And then he bought another one that was $35. Well, that was just awesome for me because I just sat there for almost 4 hours and didn't have not one sale. Well, then after he left, another young lady came with her daughter, and her daughter had $20 and wanted to, as she told me when she got to my table, I want to go shopping. What do you have that I can get for $20? So I showed her some $20 items, and she picked out what she wanted, and then they got in the car and they left. And one other thing that I want to say is when I started doing the getting all the different Christmas stuff together, we had really been talking about, because of the economy, because of all of the furloughs and all of that kind of stuff, we had talked about grab and goes, grab and goes, grab and goes, grab and goes. Well, in October, a friend came to me. Now, this is, I'm gonna come back to where I was, but I wanted to talk about the grab and go real quick. Came to me, and she was doing a women's conference, and she wanted some inexpensive gifts that she could give to her attendees, and then as well as give gifts to her speakers. So I put together one of those grab and go bags that you've been seeing on my videos, where I've been saying I finished 47, I finished 27, I finished 10, I finished 5. Well, she wanted 30, and I took pictures and posted and everything. And then I started getting orders behind those 30 bags that I had made. And all the way up to today, I've done about 127, 130 of those bags. And in those bags, there depends on what price range I'm trying to keep it in for the person. I have in those bags, I have a couple had, depending on the different ones, may have had a journal in it. A journal. I had the cups, like the Starbucks cups that has the top on it. I have one of them in there. I have a hand soap in there, and then I have a prayer card in it. And then others will have the cup, the hand soap, and hand sanitizer, not a hand wipes in there, and each one of them has a tea bag in it for whatever color the cup is. And those have been really good sellers for me ever since October. I've been constantly every single month making at least 30 of them a month. And I just, like, one month I did 47. I just finished 30 3 days before I came down here, before I packed up to come down here. I brought 30 in one order and 5 in another order. So I bought 35 of those bags down here to give to the 2 people who ordered them from me. So it's awesome, and we have to have those kind of things. And I had some $10 items. I had $15 items, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, all the way up to, like I said, that one that was 150, but the rest of them were 55 and under. Well, I had one more person come, and at this time, I'm going back to what happened yesterday. At this time, I had already put everything up and had just put the two containers into my trunk, in the back of my truck. And one young lady came up and she said my goddaughter told her to um to come to come and check out what I had. So I pulled the containers back out to let her see what I had, and she picked three items and then she left. Well, after she left, I just sat there for a little while. Um, and I didn't, for some reason, I did not move. I did not move my vehicle. I just stayed there. Well, the young man that came earlier that day and bought almost $300 worth of stuff from me came back, and he wanted to know, did I sell out or do I still have any items left? And I told him, yes. I said, no, I didn't sell out. I still have items left. And so he said, well, can I see what you have left? And I said, sure. So I got back out the vehicle again, pulled the containers back out, and he said, well, how much you think you got here? And I said, well, I don't know. He said, well, let's count. You count that container, and I'm gonna count this one. And we started counting the money amounts that I had on all of the tags. And he said that what I counted and what you just counted, you got about $600 left. And I said, yeah. He said, well, I'm gonna give you $500 in cash, and I need to Venmo you $100. Well, I don't have Venmo, but my son has Venmo. So I call. He said, call your son and ask him, can I send him the $100? And I called my son. My son says, yeah. And I gave the guy the information. Well, he Venmoed my son $100, and it was now about 4:45 when all of this was transpiring. And because nobody had never done that to me before, I had to ask some questions. And I said, well, what are you going to do with the rest of these baskets that you're buying from me? And he said, I live in an apartment, and I'm going to, tomorrow, I'm going to give everybody in my apartment one of those baskets. Thank you. He was going to give each one of them one of those baskets. And I just told him thank you so much for what he did. And then he turned around and he gave me a tip as well. Um, and I was like, you don't have to do that, but I appreciate it. And he said, no, I want to give you a tip. You make all of this, right? I said, yeah. He said, this ain't bought at the store or anything. I said, no, this is everything. This is made with my hands. And so he, like I said, he gave me the tip. And what I want to say behind that, I mean, I had to sit in my car after he left. I went and sat in my car, and I did not believe what all had transpired. Because, first of all, I just got back into the basket business. I've only done baskets for Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, and Father's Day. And this is my first time at doing baskets for Christmas. And I just want to say to all of the basket people out there, hey KOK, how you doing? Um, I know what we're the business that we're in, especially ones who are just starting out. Say this is your first year. Half the time you don't know where to go. Um, you don't know what you really should be making. You don't know where to buy your supplies from. You don't know a lot of that. And I experienced that when Valentine's, as I said in a couple of videos that I had in the past, when Valentine's Day came I keep saying last year, this year, 2025's Valentine. KOK, I am doing awesome. I have sold out of my baskets. Um, I went to the store when I went said had decided I was going to make Valentine baskets. When I tell you that I spent a lot of money, I because everything that I bought was all full price. I mean, I went to because I bought these were already some of my stores. Um, it took me a little while watching people's videos to start going to Family Dollar and Dollar General because I just kind of never paid no attention to them. I knew about Dollar Tree and I went there for different things, but I just never paid no attention to the other ones. But I was in Ross, I was in Roses, I was in Burlington, I was in TJ Maxx, I was in Marshalls. And this is where I bought a lot of my stuff for Valentine's, and none of it was on sale at all. Didn't know about the waiting. You get your Valentine's stuff after Christmas, get your Mother's Day stuff after Valentine's. Catch the 90% and the 85 and the 75. I had no idea about any of that when I started doing Valentine baskets this Valentine's. But by the time it was time to do Mother's Day baskets, oh, I had learned some things because I was like, I can't spend money like I just spent the way I just spent it on for Mother's Day. I got to figure this thing out better than that. And so I binge watched a lot of videos. And all I was doing was writing down, okay, they say go here, go here, go here. Wait until it gets to 90%, try 75%. Don't wait sometimes to 90% because what you want to be gone. So, I mean, I was getting the strategy together. And so by the time it was time for me to do Mother's Day, I didn't have as much full price items as I did when I did Valentine's. But when Mother's Day finished, oh, I was Johnny on the spot, ready to start purchasing it. All through the summer, I purchased, I purchased until I came down to Georgia and I learned about the penny thing and I went crazy with the penny stuff. But what I did with all the penny stuff after I got home, if it didn't benefit my business or nothing that I could use to make my baskets or any of the crafts that I did, I gave it away. I gave it away because I didn't see a reason for me to have all of this stuff that I got for a penny to keep it just because I got it for a penny. I said, no, I need to bless people with some of this stuff. And like and I didn't think about it at the time, but one of my friends, um, church member, her daughter was in Jamaica, I think in Jamaica, Nigeria, one of them, where they lost everything. And she needed some clothes, they needed everything. So I went to, when she called me and she told me about it, I went to 9 different Dollar Generals and I told her, I said, let me see if I can find some toys. Let me see if I can find some socks and some whatever I can find that's kids related. I'm gonna go find it and I'll bring it to you. And I was still down here at the time when I did that. Well, I ended up taking her about three or four bags full of kids' clothes, kids' toys, all of whatever Dollar General had that was related to kids. I got it. I was able to get 4 of those wagons. Um, so all to I gave all those to her to send when their church sent all of the stuff to them. I gave her all of that to have already, and it was like I know that we're this is a peculiar business to me, being in the basket business, especially when I had to like for myself. I have not made any kids. baskets. I have not even bought anything for kids baskets. The only thing that I bought kids related was I bought some red squishmallows at the bin store, and then I turned around and I went to the Dollar Tree and I bought the toothpaste, the toothbrush, and the dental floss. That is all. I had four of those out on my table yesterday. I sold two. The guy got two when he got the stuff with the containers. Excuse me. Um, but I think that going forward, I will go out and I will get some Barbie stuff, um, and maybe um, the Barbie, the Hello Kitty, the whatever. I'll figure out by looking at other people's videos what is out. Um, and then I'll go and purchase maybe so that I can at least have two or three girls baskets and two or three boys baskets with whatever the latest things is, so I can at least say I have those in my stash or in finished. Um, when I've looked at some of the different people's videos where they show their storage units, well, it has scared me to death, um, because I've been doing embroidery for since 2003. I've been doing embroidery that long, and I've been doing it as a business for a long time, and then I stopped. And then when people ask me about it, I'll go back and start doing embroidery again. But in the beginning, the one of the ladies that I was helping getting her business together, one of the things that she did, and I'm finding myself being with us in the doing the stuff that we do with the baskets, we're doing that, and that scared me to death. But I understand the concept of why. When I was working for her, she had every color T-shirt there was, and every size there was, and every day I came to work, all I could see was inventory, 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 inventory. And she had all of this inventory, but we weren't moving these t-shirts. These t-shirts were not going out the door. And it used to scare me because I was going, all that money is sitting there. It need to be going out the door. It need to be going out the door. And for a long time, that just kind of stressed me out. So this summer, when I found out about this is 90%, that's 90%. Go buy these. Go get some of these. I need to get some of these because I'm gonna need that later. I'm gonna need this later. And when I started looking around and looking at my inventory, it was scaring me because all I could see was money sitting over there, not made into anything, I'm just constantly buying and I'm constantly putting on top of that. So that kind of got scary to me until I sat down one day and I said, okay, wait a minute. I need to start taking that stuff off them shelves now that I got the shelves all filled up. Because at first my shelves didn't have nothing on them. Because each time I did Valentine's, when I finished Valentine's, I did, what did I do? I did 55, 55 baskets or 65 baskets for Valentine's. But when I got to Mother's Day, um, I didn't realize it because I had bought so much stuff. I did not realize that I had 96 baskets for Mother's Day. Well, that was scary to me because I had never made that many baskets before, and and had to go out and sell them. Um, but I had 96 baskets. But when I did the baskets for Mother's Day, I lined up three 6 foot tables and I put all of these containers on the table. And then I went back and all of the products that I had bought, I started putting them in color coordinating and mixing the two colors because um, I'd like to put pink and gray together. I like to put green and gray together, a lighter green and a lighter gray. I like to mix and match colors. So I was sitting there. I ordered a whole bunch of rose bears and colored bears, and then I got tumblers, and I was just doing assembly line, and I just had all of that stuff lined up. And then only thing I had last to do after I got all the colors together and some of the items I wanted all in there, I put all of the bath stuff that I was going to use. Some had bath stuff, some didn't, because everybody didn't want bath stuff. I had all my different flower arrangements, and I had all of that together. And I end up, selling all of that. So there was 90, I had 96 different, I guess I would say 96 baskets, and all of those baskets sold except six. So when that was finished, I looked around on my I didn't even have the shelving unit at that time. I've got the shelving unit. Told my husband I wanted the shelving unit after I saw um, Hope's and Still Classy's shelving units, the way they had them set up. So I showed him pictures, and he went and put it together and got me a shelving unit set up like that. So, but when I finished and it was time for Father's Day, well, I looked around again. I had no inventory. I didn't have anything to make men's baskets with. I had to go out and start all over again. Well, I was determined after that, I was not going to be doing that again. I said I did it Valentine's Day. Was left with no inventory at all. I did it Mother's Day. I was left with no inventory at all. I did Father's Day, and I was left with. I didn't sell. I think I came back home. I did about 30, 35 men's baskets, and I came back home with about 10, because people wasn't buying like they did for Mother's Day and Valentine's Day. Um, but after that, I started saying, I'm not gonna be short like this again. I need to get inventory. So I started hitting all of the stores that I frequented and started trying to get different items on clearance because it was no longer that season. So now I can buy these perfumes, I can buy these gift sets, these gift sets, these gift sets, these baskets, and all of that. And now I have a full inventory. So when I get back home, I didn't bring anything to work on up here because all I want to do while I'm here for these 2 weeks is paperwork, to start off for what I want and what I'm expecting for myself from for my business and all of that kind of stuff. You're right, KOK. We all get better as we progress. And it takes time. And the main reason that I'm on here tonight is one, I was to the moon. Um I was just floored and overly excited about the fact that I sold out, and I had a chance to now understand and see what people say when they say they've sold out all of their inventory. So I bought 65 items down here with me from Virginia, and I have no more items left in my vehicle. And I said, I'm not going anywhere to try to buy some more stuff and put together something else to go out because I planned on going out today, which is Wednesday. I planned on going out, and I was going to be out from like at least 11 to 4, 3-ish, 4, like that. But I no longer have to do that now. Hey, Maria, how are you? I no longer have to do that. So I'm mainly going to what I'm going to do. The videos that I'm just going to show now while I'm here is I'm just going to go in different stores. I'm going to go to the different Dollar Trees because what we all have found that my Dollar Trees in Virginia do not have the same things the Dollar Trees down here in Georgia has. My Dollar Tree that I go to, I got 7 or 8 of them that's right there locally to me that are within. I can get to any one of them within 15, 20 minutes. It almost sometimes seems like they're the last ones to get some of the items that people are showing. Um, Thank you, Maria. That people are showing when they show their Dollar Trees, and I'll be like, "That's not in my Dollar Tree. That's not at my Dollar Tree. That's not at my Dollar Tree." And but I'll go in and I'll show them pictures, and I say, "I'm looking for this," and they'll let me know if it comes in, or one of the managers may call me and say, "Well, we just got a case in. Do you want the case?" Like when those the gold, the gold, the red, green, iridescent, and the gold cups came out. I had already went in there and told the manager that I wanted all of the gold that she had. However many boxes she gets, I want all the gold. Well, when she called me to tell me, she said, "Well, I don't know if you want this many." She said, "But I got four cases of the gold of the cups, of the tumblers. Do you want all of the gold ones?" I said, "I want every gold one you have. If you can take them all out of the different four boxes and put it all into one box, I'll come and get them all." Well, that's what she did. I came and got the whole case and then told her other things that I was looking for. Ever since I started in doing Valentine's and I started watching all of y'all different videos, and I kept seeing these gold cups. I wanted some of them gold cups so bad. But then I kept saying, "I bet you that was probably a Christmas order, something else." Just like I wanted those black cups. And I said, that's probably was another holiday. Well, it turns out to be those black cups came out during Halloween. Well, I told her, "You get your hands on a couple of cases of those. I want the black, I want the orange, and I want the purple." I said, "I already have a whole lot of iridescent. I don't need them. I just need them other ones." Well, she was able to get two cases of those and gave me those. So I got four cases full of different tumblers. I think it's either 4 or 5 cases of different tumblers. So I said, for a while there, I'm ready. And when I get back home, I've already laid out for Valentine's, I've already laid out all on 3 different 6-foot tables. I've laid out a whole lot of different colored containers. So I'm going to go home, I'm going to go in my cups, and I'm going to start putting the cups in first. And then I'm going from all of this stuff that I got for doing all these penny sales that were um, different colored items and different home decor pieces. I'm gonna start putting them all that color coordinate. I got a lot of stuff from the bin store that can color coordinate with in these baskets. And that's what I'm going to do with all of them. I'm going to lay all of those out and get them all together. And I guess I'm kind of a little bit of off subject on what I originally was talking about, but it still pertains to that as well. It still pertains to all of that. It's just in another area. And I guess one of the things that I want us all to. It's sometimes it's heartening. It's scary. It's hurtful when you're sitting out there and you're saying, "I've done all this work and um, nobody's coming and buying what I made." That can hurt your feelings sometimes. Because I remember doing embroidery and I used to make all these different shirts and everything, and it was like nobody was buying it. But what I had to come to a realization is some stuff has to do with timing. And where somebody else may not look at it, I always put the God factor in everything that I do. I might be doing this and I might not be in the right timing. This might not be my time. So I may be overstepping or overdoing something that God is trying to tell me it's not time for that yet. And when it's time for that, And it's almost kind of like, I guess like when you look at the farmers, they have to plow and all of this stuff that they have to do to get their harvest ready. Their harvest don't come right then. They have to do all this work first, and then they get to the harvest coming. The harvest might not come till 6 months later, but they had to plow, they had to plant, they had to water, they had to do all this preparation to get to seeing those cucumbers come up, seeing those greens come up, seeing those tomatoes come up, seeing those grapes come up. It took time. So sometimes when we're doing our baskets, as well as any of the crafts that we do that we sell, we go out and we want everybody, we want our items sold. That's the bottom line. We put in all the time, we put in the work, we want our items sold. But sometimes it's not, that might not be our time. That really might not be our time. Wait a minute. Okay, I wanted to see what you said. We decorate for months, then only vend a couple of days. Yes, yes, yes. And sometimes your vending things can be a hit or miss. Now, I went to a high school and the event was put on by the football team and the cheer team. That was my first event at this school. And what I sat down and did, I got the colors of, I went on their website. I got the colors of the school. I got the mascot. I got their emblem. I got their logo. I got a lot of different things that had to do with that school. So I made rhinestone t-shirts. I made vinyl t-shirts. I put on some of the t-shirts, I had football mom, basketball mom, soccer mom, in all the school colors, because their school colors was red, black, and white. I did them in all of these colors. I made tote bags in red, black, and white because I'm thinking about the moms, and I'm thinking about some of the, because it was close to Mother's Day, I was thinking that some of the students would buy their mom these different items. I had 6 football players come up to my table, walk around my table, look at everything, and I said, I have a lot of nice items that, you can give to your mom, get for your mom. Those boys blew me away because they said, buy something for my mom? Are you crazy? And I'm like looking at them going, you're not going to buy your mother a Mother's Day gift? No, I ain't buying my mother a Mother's Day gift. And I said, well, the shirts are only like $30. I'm not buying my mother. If she wants a shirt, she'll buy her own shirt. So a lot of stuff that I made at that event, I think I sold at that event all day, I think I sold 6 items that day. And there was none of those things that I thought was going to sell. So I got left with all of these shirts, all of these tote bags. And I literally had to, and when I went out for Mother's Day, I took all of them out and I started selling them. The people was coming up, and as they were buying my baskets, they asked what were those, and I showed them the shirts. And that's when they went on and they started buying the different shirts. And they was like, okay, well, I got some people I can get these to. Here, let me get some of those shirts. And they got the shirts. Hey, Shannon. And it was like, but we go to different vendor events, and sometimes you don't know. Like I used to do jewelry, or I still do jewelry, but I used to make jewelry, make a lot of jewelry, and that was all I had. That was all I was doing. And I would go to different vendor events. Now, I had I had a process when I went to different vendor events because I was doing women's conferences. So when I went to, somebody called me and they told me about they were having a women's conference and did I want to be a vendor there? I'd ask certain questions. I want to know what's the color, what's your theme, and when I came there with my jewelry, I had at least 15 necklace sets with that particular color of their theme. I would make a couple of shirts. I first find because a lot of times you cannot use if a church is putting on a women's conference, you cannot, if you're into embroidery and vinyl and all that, you cannot use the same theme that they are using because 9 times out of 10 they have ordered a large quantity of shirts to sell themselves. So you can't come in and sell their shirts, but you can come in and have something close to what it says. Like they can't tell you can't do grace and their theme is grace under fire, let's say, or grace under whatever. You can't tell me that I can't use the word grace. Good morning, Shirley. So I never sold out of none of everything that I've done, but a lot of those I did really well because I already had a theme, I had a color, and that's what people gravitated to. So when we go to a lot of our vending events, we go to our vending events in the blind. And the same thing applies, like I was talking to my husband about where I live in Virginia. Well, I don't really know anybody where I am. And I go out, I went out on Valentine's, I went out on Mother's Day, and I went out on Father's Day. And yes, people bought. I never sold out, but people bought from me. But I think about like the LBE and Boss Lady Fee and like KOK and Tasha and several of the other ladies who've been doing this for a long time. Yummy Teeth one because she's been doing it for a long time. When I look at them and I hear and I listen to them and I watch their videos, one of the things that I pick up about them that I be saying, me as a new person, I can't begin to even think that I'm gonna have. I mean, I can, but to me, it's kind of not for me to think that way. I can't be sitting here saying I'm going to make 200, 300 baskets and go out and just automatically sell and everybody's going to buy my stuff. They've been doing this for a long time in the same spot where they have accumulated customers, have acquired customers. People call them, people look for them in those spots. Where if you're a newbie and you just started doing it, well, first of all, they don't know you. So you don't even know at that given time, you don't really even know who your customer is. Because you're going out on the street, you're going off of what you made, what you liked, for that particular season. Okay, wait a minute, I'm trying to read the, Shannon, I'm so happy and proud of you, sis. Hi, Miss Lillian. Hi, Lucretia, how are you? And people love it. I must have missed something that Shannon said. Maria told her she was happy and proud. So let me go back for a minute. Someone bought my display. Awesome, Miss Shannon. Awesome. Awesome. And I have, because see, a lot of that, when you starting out and you're new and we're watching the different people's videos, instantly the thing is I want to do that. I want to make that kind of money. I want to be able to do that. But all of that still takes time. And we find ourselves because we We done went and bought this and bought that and bought this and trying this and trying that and trying this. And then we get discouraged. And we get discouraged because I've heard LBE say it. I've heard Lady Fee say it. I've heard Hope say it. I've heard a lot of the basket makers say when they first started. Now, keep in mind, somebody first started may have been 5 years ago. Like Boss Lady Fee, she said she's been doing this 25 years. She should have a clientele. She has a clientele. She has, LBE has people who call her on a daily basis. I need this, I want that. I need this, I want that. When we just starting out, we don't have that. We have to work our way up to that. So that's not the time for us to be discouraged. That's not the time for us to say, I went to this event and I only sold 5 items. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not going back to, okay, it might not have been your time. That might not have been your event. But you still got to get yourself out there. You have to go to the different events. And if you don't sell anything and you give out, let's just for giggles, 50 business cards, make 50 contacts with people. Well, they might not need that item right then at that event. But who's to say that 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now, they need that, somebody needs a basket and they remember, wait a minute, I met that lady at the event. And she gave me her information. Let me call her and see if she can make 2-3 things for me. Okay, you did do something from that event. You just didn't sell anything at that event at that time. But your contacts are there. And that is, okay, you're 100% right. It takes time. It takes patience. And trying to find a location that works for you, because you might not sell well over here on this side of town, but then you go over here on this side of town and you almost sell out everything you have. Different clientele, different people, different ones. Almost like one of the examples I always give people, and I had to show it to my husband a long time ago. I used to love, well, I still like Ross, but I used to love going to Ross. But I used to like going to Ross in other states. And he could never understand why every time we went out of town, I'm looking for a Ross. I don't care where we are. I want to find a Ross. And he was like, why? I said, because that Ross is not going to have anything that's in my stores at home. We would go to Orlando. I'd go to 2-3 different Rosses on different sides of town. Nobody has the same items. And that's the same thing that applies with us. Because a basket, let's say my style of baskets and what I may do may not even appeal to somebody over here on this side of town. But then I take my baskets over here to this other side of town and everybody loves it and I'm almost sold out. That's the same concept that I kept looking at with the, when you're looking at the different Rosses, when you look at the different Dollar Trees. We see that all day long when somebody shows us a haul, or they don't even show us a haul. They show us a walkthrough of what's at their Dollar Tree. And then we go back, I know I used to, we go back to our Dollar Tree looking for all of that stuff and be saying, I know I did it a lot. How come my dollar store don't have any of that? And then I would go to 7 and 8 different ones in my area saying, well, wow, not one of them stores have any of this. And maybe 2 or 3 months later, my store will get something that I saw in somebody else's store 3 months ago. 3 months ago. Like those eyeshadows that everybody used to show at their different stores. that were really colorful. One had like a unicorn, and I can't think of the other ones. Other styles. My stores never ever got those items in. Never, never. And that was right before Mother's Day or right after Mother's Day, somewhere along there. My stores never saw that. And when I went to show that to them, they said, we ain't never seen that. I've never seen that, and I've been a manager here for 4 or 5 years now. I've never seen those in our store. And that's when they kept saying, but we don't get everything that they get up north. We don't get everything they get down south. We don't get everything they get over in the west. We don't get it, they just kept saying that. And to where I stopped saying, when I would see somebody's video showing what's at their store, I don't even pay any attention anymore. Now I'll go, okay, I like that. Let me take a picture of that, because that might be something I might want to add to my inventory later if I ever see it in my stores. Yeah, we be on the hunt for stuff, but we be on the hunt for stuff that it's not even in our area for 2 and 3 months at a time. And it does get frustrating, but people's paydays is important, particularly Fridays. Well, like I have 3 people that are in, if they do come back, I have 3 people that's supposed to come back to me, come back to where I was yesterday and the day before, because they don't get paid until today. And they wanted to buy some things. But I'm not even there. I'm not going to be there because I don't have anything else to sell to them. So now they're going to have to go to the stores. But a lot of stuff does, just like when we did Valentine's. Well, Valentine's Day fell on a Friday. A lot of people came past me asking me, are you going to be here Friday? Are you going to be here Friday? Are you going to be here Friday? Yes, sir, I'm going to be here on Friday. Okay, I'm coming back on Friday, look for you. And they did. They came back on Friday because they said they got paid on Friday. He said, I can't go home until after I've gotten some stuff for my wife. I'll be back. I was like, okay, I'll be here. I will be here. But the main reason that I got on this video tonight, and I wanted to share that I sold out. That somebody came and bought everything that I had left in my 2 containers, and I sold out. So I wanted to share that with our basket community, because I've been reading so many different ones. Hi, RA Baskets, how are you? I've been reading for the last 2 or 3 days that a lot of people's feelings have been really hurt, and they've been getting disgusted and not sure if they should go out the next day. And I just wanted to, on Mother's Day, the first thing I did that morning after I got set up is I had to be transparent, because that morning I got up and was on the street. I was set up by 7:45 Mother's Day morning. And the reason that I did that was I was trying to catch every person who was going to go pick their mother up and take them to church. And most church services started at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock. I was trying to get out there and be there. And I had people coming to me. I hadn't even set up everything. They were coming to me buying stuff for Mother's Day because they was going to pick their mother up and take her to church. And they wanted items. But that morning I made a video, and I made that video because I wanted to encourage every single basket maker that was out there. because I know I had been out there. Mother's Day was on a Sunday. I came out on that Monday. So I was out Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And I went and did an event on Saturday before Mother's Day. And when I tell you I sold one item at that event, I was so hurt. I was so disappointed because I said, I know I'm going to do good because it's Mother's Day is the next day. Well, I told my husband, I said, this is just not, we finished at about 3 o'clock. I told him, I said, this is just not satisfactory to me. This is hurting me to my core. I can't go in the house until I've sold some stuff. Well, we went, and the spot that I set up in, that I had set up in for Mother's Day, that I set up on that next day, I went to that spot and set my stuff up. I just didn't set it up the same way I do normally. I just put the table up and put stuff on the table. I end up with 7 sales before 7. I think we was out there from 3 till 7, I want to say, because it was still daylight at 7 o'clock. We were out there for that 4 hour period, and I think I made 7 sales then. And I was saying, I said, this is just unreal. I just spent almost 8 hours, and I got 1 sale out of that whole entire event. But I told him, I said, I could give up and say I'm done. I said, but I can't do that, which pushed me to get up early that morning. And I said, I'm going to catch all these folks going to church who got to go get their mothers. And they going to come and they going to buy stuff from me. And when I finished Mother's Day that evening, I had, out of 96 baskets, I had 6 baskets that I took back home with me. And as far as I was concerned, I was like, oh, that's just fine. I'll take them 6. Won't worry about it. I truly believe, and that's one of my mottos, what God has for me is for me. And when he wants me to have it, he's going to see to it that I have it. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to get on tonight. Everybody knows I'm a night owl. So when I kept trying to do stuff to try to get on at like 9 or 10 o'clock, it just wasn't working. That's like, okay, I'm just going to wait until about 1 o'clock and I'll get on right around that time. I don't do anything without putting God first. I ask him to lead me and guide me. I cannot, this business is not my business. This is his business. Almost like when me and my husband got married, and I told him, and when my father-in-law married us, there's 3 pieces to us. There's myself, there's my husband, and then there's a cord that pulls, and that cord is God. He's the one, he's in the middle. Because we can't do anything without him. Now we can try and we can do a lot of stuff. We mess up, we whatever. But as long as we put him and keep him in the middle, then we could do it. Well, we need to take that same attitude with our businesses. We need to take that same attitude with our business. You go out there and you set up your stuff in the morning or whatever time it is today that you go out and set up for your sales. After you get yourself set up, or while you're getting yourself set up, you start talking to him. Because I surely did. My prayer yesterday to him was, God, you did it for me the day before. You got me 15. I was able to sell 15 baskets. I'm asking you to do it again. 10 or more was all I was looking for. 10 or more. Let me at least get 10 items sold. But you can go above and beyond exceedingly, however you want to. But I'm just asking you to meet me there because I'm still coming out another day. And like I said, when I came down here with 65 baskets. That particular Mother's Day morning, when I said that prayer and I got online, I didn't go live, I just did a video. But I did an encouragement video because I said, if I feel discouraged, if I feel defeated, then I know a lot of other people have to feel that way. And so I said my prayer first. I asked him to give me the words to say when I hit this record button. And he gave me the words to say. I couldn't even begin to say I remember what I said, because I don't remember what I said, because I asked him to take over and give me the words to say to our basket community that morning, and that was Mother's Day morning. And I'm asking him the same thing for tonight. Give me the words. You sold me out yesterday. Give me the words to these different ones that I've watched, or on my Facebook, where I've watched the basket, the youth, Facebook basket group, where they were saying, am I the only one that's not getting any sales? Am I the only one that is just so really so slow? Am I the only one? Am I the only one? No, you're not the only one. No, you're not the only one. But what I want you to do, whoever is listening, whoever comes back and watch the replay, what I want you to do when you go out in the morning and start to set up is tell God, I need you to be here. I need you to send the people here. I need you to do what you do. Because when you leave it in his hands to do what he do, his hands, he's going to give us more than we have room enough to receive. But we got to involve him. We have to tell him, we need you to be here. I hear a lot of different ones talk about, I'm an ex-police officer. I hear a lot of ones talk about, we need to be careful out there. We need to do this. We need to do that. When I go out, on the street, I sit there and I tell God, I say, you know what? I need you to station your angels around me. I need you to keep me from hurt, harm, or danger. Don't let anybody do anything to me that they're not supposed to. And I know that you got me because you said you never leave me nor forsake me. So I'm trusting you to take care of this. And who is not supposed to come near me, they won't come near me. Who's supposed to come near me, they will come near me. And then I leave it alone, because that's how I talk. That's the kind of talk I have with him. And then I don't worry about it anymore. I watch my surroundings, of course. I do that because that's just being an ex-police officer. I watch my surroundings and all of that when people come up and cars, and occasionally if you stay around in the area too long, close to where I am, I take my phone out and I make it look like I'm taking a selfie. But I'm not taking a selfie. I'm taking a picture of your tags. I took several pictures of people's tags that stayed in the particular area where I felt too long and never came over to where I was. I will take a picture of your tags in a heartbeat and have it on my phone. I said, then sometimes I will actually take a picture of your tags and then I'll send it to my husband. And I was like, if anything go wrong, if anything happened, this car has been here for X amount of time. Here's the tag number. When I went out on one of the events, I went out street selling for Valentine's, and a group of people came up with with like one of those, like the really big U-Hauls. And it was just me. Hey, Kimberly, how are you? It was just me by myself, and that particular day. And I called my husband and I told him, I said, somebody else is coming and they're setting up beside me, and they got a big U-Haul. And I said, they keep looking over here like maybe because they got a U-Haul and all I have is my truck, and I got one table, that maybe they're going to try to move me from the location that I had, because I had a very good location, very good spot. And When they finished, when they all got out of the vehicle, it was 8 men and me. Well, what I did, and before my husband could tell me to do it, what I did was I turned around and I started taking pictures of my table. I wasn't taking pictures of my table. I was taking pictures of every single one of those men that were over there. I took pictures of the tag of the U-Haul. And then I sent that information. I sent all them pictures to my husband. And I told him, I said, I don't know if they're going to try to make me move. I don't know if they're going to what they may try to do. But it's 8 men over there, and it's just me by myself over here. Sent everything to him. I said, if anything happens, you got their information. And that's kind of what we have to do. We got to be diligent when we go out here with and do street vending, especially when somebody may be thinking, okay, well, if they're doing a whole lot of sales, somebody's giving them cash. They have a lot of cash on them. Wait a minute, let me read the vid. I'm missing some stuff. Let me see. Um, Yeah, I don't have a problem at all getting on a video. Now, lives is just not my thing. I get really nervous with lives. I can sit down and do a video where I know I'm not I don't really know what it is, but lives kind of make me nervous. But as far as giving somebody encouragement and telling them to be encouraged and to stay encouraged, that comes easy for me. That's not something that's hard for me at all in that area. Um, Even me being a minister, it when it came to getting up and preaching and all of that kind of stuff, that kind of always made me nervous. But I could sure enough sit there and tell you, give you encouraging words. I can sure enough tell you, what you need to do and that kind of thing. So that was one of the main reasons I got on here. I want every basket maker when they go out this morning to give it to God, to give their business to God. Let him be the forefront. Let him be the leader. Ask, ask him to send who he needs to come to your table. Because see, just like this young man that came to my table and bought the last, everything in my 2 containers that were left, he do it for me, he can do it for you. And my theory used to always be is when he's blessing somebody else and it's somebody I know, well, guess what? That means he in the blessing business and he in the neighborhood. I'm a praise you and I'm a shout with you and all of that kind of stuff, because if your blessing is right there, then he may finish with your blessing and my blessing's on the way. My blessing might not come at the same time your blessing come, but my blessing is on the way. Thank you, Maria. Thank you, KOK. I do. I just, like I said, I was so in awe. And one of the things that my husband had told me was, you never thought anybody could, that had never even entered your mind that somebody could come and buy all of your stuff. And I said, no, it hasn't. Almost every event we have ever done together, where my husband went with me and we did events, my husband says, Lil, all it takes is one person to make you a millionaire. And I'll go, I know, but I didn't believe it. I know, I heard it, but I never believed it could happen to me. And he said it again. Lil, all it takes is one person to come and buy everything that's on your table. And I'm going, yeah, you're right. And I nonchalantly said that. And when this guy came and said, what do you have left? Because see, he'd already came and bought items that he wanted to give to his mom, his dad, and somebody else. He'd already bought those, grandmother. He'd already bought those earlier. So he came back to ask me what did I have left. Could he see what I had left? I pulled the containers out. I let him see what I had left. And then he says, well, how much do you think all of this costs? Let me go through one container and add up the prices and you add up the other prices. And when I did that, and he said, well, I'm thinking that it's almost $600 here. I said, yeah, for roughly what I counted and what you just told me you counted. I said, yeah, it's about $600. Well, he gave me $600. And I'm looking at him going, are you for real? He gave me $600. And then he said, well, do you need the containers? Because if you need the containers, I'll just take all the stuff. I said, no, you can take the containers right along with the items. He took those 2 containers and he put them in his car. And he went on his merry way. And I had to sit there in my car in awe, saying, did this really happen? Did this really happen to me? Now, I saw it, I lived it, but I still couldn't believe it. I sat in that car numb for about a good 15 minutes before I could even pick the phone up to call my husband and tell him what happened. And he said, but Lil, you don't even believe that could have happened. And I was like, you're 100% right. I did not believe that that could happen. But then I found myself after that, I said, but I serve an awesome God. And I believe this young man was a byproduct of my blessings. He was blessing me because of all the blessings I had done in the last 2 weeks. And that's just kind of all I want to just say to everybody. Open your hands. Don't close your hands. Open your hands. He can't get nothing in there if you keep your hands closed. Anything I buy, when I buy stuff even when I go in, I'm in the store buying stuff, especially when I go to some of the Dollar Trees and the Dollar Generals and stuff like that, I may be buying a whole bunch of stuff and somebody behind me might have 10 items and I'm already then bought 25, 30 items. I'll tell the cashier, I was like, count their items. And they'll look at me, I'm like, count their items. She count their items and I said, is all of them $1.50 or whatever? And she'll look and I said, okay, go ahead and scan their stuff. Put it in another bag and then give them their bag. And then I'll go ahead and I'll swipe my card and I pay for everything and I keep on moving. And they'll be trying to give me money and all of that kind of stuff. And the one thing I tell them is, don't block my blessing. Don't block my blessing. Because if God put it on my heart to do it, allow me to do it, say thank you, and keep moving. You don't have to keep doing anything and you don't even have to keep thanking me. Just thank me one time, leave it alone, go on about your business. Because I'm doing what he told me to do. He said, pay for that person behind me. I paid for the person behind me, keep it moving. And I know that God's going to bless me. Thank you, Rose. Thank you so much. I just came on to be an encouragement to everybody and to share my praise report on this young man buying all my stuff and me selling out. And today I don't have to go out to sell anything because I have nothing else down here with me to sell. So those 65 baskets that I bought down here with me, they're all gone. And I just want to be an encouragement to others because like a lot of us, a lot of the ones that are doing this that are new, if within your first year, I did baskets back in 97, 98, 99, 2000 when I was on the police force. I did baskets, I did ceramics, I did all kind of stuff. But I had a place where I set up I used to set up, and they looked for me every Valentine's, every Mother's Day, every Father's Day. I didn't do Christmas because I was always doing stuff with my family. So I didn't do Christmas at all. But all the other holidays, they knew I was right there. And the different I would come out every time I did a whole week. I didn't just like if Valentine's say fell on a Saturday, I didn't just come out on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday. I came out on Monday all the way up until Valentine's. And the reason that I did that was because a lot of the young boys that lived during that time and lived in that area, they wanted personalized items. So they would come and they would give me money. I want this. At that time, it was Fredericks or Hollywood was one of the spots where you go buy the lingerie and stuff. They would tell me what size, and I'm going to Fredericks or Hollywood buying 5 and 6 of this and 5 and 6 of that, so I can put it in all of these baskets for them. And it was nothing for me to leave those locations making $3,000 in one day because they wanted what they wanted. Now, and I left that when we moved down to Georgia, and I never gave any thought to doing baskets again. But this last 2024's Christmas, I gave my family members all baskets. And that's what reignited the basket maker in me, because I had so much fun getting the stuff and putting the stuff together that when Valentine's came, I wanted to make Valentine's baskets. And then that's where, as they say, that's where the bug started again, because now I want to do this all the time again. And I mainly, when I think about some of the newer basket makers, not knowing where to go, um, not knowing anything about the different sales, the 90%, the 50%, then the 70 or 75%, then sometimes the 85%, depending on the store, and the 90%, not knowing when is a good time to purchase some of this stuff. But then you have to figure out, it's almost like I love hearing everybody always say, use what you have. Use what you have. Because you come on and you see me, um, I got a haul from the bin store, this bin store, Dollar Tree, Dollar General, Roses, City Trend, all in let's say 1 week's time. You don't need to go to all of those stores that I just went to and bought. I may have went to those stores because I'm already looking at my inventory and what I want, what I already want to make. And I may need 10 of these, and I may need 10 of them, and I may need 5 of these. Well, a lot of times I sit down and I take me a piece of paper or a tablet, and I sit down and say, well, I need 5 of this color. I need 10 of that color. I need 6 of this color. I need 7 of that color. Well, I need 10 men's gift sets. I need 10 ladies gift sets, but I want different colors. So then I go, is now everybody, the sale is on. Now it's time for me to go to the store and try to find all of these different items. So it may seem like I have just like gone crazy buying this and buying that and buying this and buying that. But it also go back to what we said. If you don't have the money to buy these different things, then don't try to buy stuff that you can't afford right now. I have always been one of the things that my son used to always tell people. He said, "Oh, my mother can find a sale for sure. My mother can find a sale." My son, when he first got his first job, he was one of those kids that I want some Timberlands. I want some Timberlands. Okay, you can get some Timberlands, but I'm not buying them. I'll take you when you get your first paycheck and we'll go buy you some Timberlands. Well, I took him to probably one of the expensive stores to buy him some Timberlands. Them Timberlands was going to cost him $180 or something along that line. And I let him buy them. And he was upset because his paycheck was only $250, but he wanted them Timberlands. So I let him buy the Timberlands. Go ahead. But I told him, don't weigh them. Just do me one favor. Don't weigh them for 1 week. And he didn't weigh them. He didn't understand why, but I told him, don't weigh them until the following week. And the following week, I took him to the outlet. And we went to the Timberland outlet. And he paid $180 for those Timberlands that he had. Well, the Timberlands, the same exact ones in that store, were $80 a piece because we was at the outlet. So he could get two pair of Timberlands for the same price of that one pair that he had. Well, I bought the two pair for him, and then when we went back to the store and took his back, got his $180 back, then I took my money back for paying the other two. That was a lesson learned for my son. I was like, there are other places you may get the same item. And then I turned around and I did it to somebody else to just kind of show them the difference. When it was a company called, well, it is still a company called La Suite, and they make different lady suits. Well, I took my mother-in-law because she needed a gold suit. I took her to um, Dillard's, and that suit that she wanted was $550 in Dillard's. And then I took her to Belk's, and the suit was like $450 in Belk's. I took her to J.C. Penney's. It was 320 or 350, and then I took her to Sears. The suit was $250. Then I told her, I said, she said, well, why you ain't let me buy it yet? I said, because I haven't gone to the last store yet. I took her to Burlington, and at that time, Burlington had a variety. They catered to the church women. They had all kind of church suits, pantsuits, skirt suits. I took her in there, that same exact suit that we saw that was $550, $450, $350, $250. She ended up buying that suit for $85 in Burlington. And what I did was I took a picture of the suit in every store. I took a picture of the collar so that she could see it still was the same collar, was the same company, the same everything. And she said, well, what's the difference? The store that you're in, you're not paying for the item, you're paying for the store that you bought it out of. And that was like a serious lesson. And I'm quick to tell people about these different things because it's all about where we go and buy stuff. I found out a long time ago from somebody that worked in Belk's, one of the buyers in Belk's. She said they all go to the same place, the same manufacturer, and all they do is stick a label on it. They stick a label on that item, and if it's over here in Dillard's, now it's going to be Dillard's price. When it's over here in Belk's, it's going to be Belk's price. If it's go to J.C. Penney's, it's going to be J.C. Penney's price. It's all about which one of those stores you want to say that you got your outfit from, or does it even make a difference which store your outfit came from? Like I used to tell people, they might have thought I was crazy, but I would tell people, I said, clothes don't make me. I make the clothes. And when I would go to, I told them, I said, I could put a flour sack on and make a flour sack look good. So it's not the clothes that I put on me that's going to make me and all that. I said, no, I make the clothes. I accessorize that outfit and put that outfit together. I make that outfit. That outfit don't make me. And that holds true with, everything that we do in life. No, faithful designs. You go back out this morning. I don't know if you was on earlier, but You go back out this morning the same way you've done the last couple of days, but I want you to do one thing before you start to sell. You can do it while you're setting your stuff up, or you can wait until after you've set it up. But ask God to be in the midst with you. Ask God to send the people that He needs to send to buy your items. Ask Him to bless your business before you do anything else after you get out there to set up. And then you sit back and you watch Him work. You watch Him work. Because sometimes we get so hurried and we get so busy and everything that we don't remember to say, God, I need you to do what you do. Bless my business. Send people to buy my items. And then believe that He don't ask Him to do this stuff and you don't believe what you're asking Him. Ask Him to do this and then believe in your heart, oh, I don't care how many sales I'm going to get today, but I'm going to get some sales. And then you go on with the rest of the day. And then you watch Him work. Yep, you watch Him work. No, don't not go out today. Because see, what you got to think about as far as today is concerned is I went yesterday after I finished with the guy and all the stuff. I went to TJ Maxx because I went to go buy an Invicta watch. Thank God that the watch was in the jewelry part and I didn't have to stand in line. But TJ Maxx's line was in the back of the store. That's where the ending of the line was, all the way in the back of the store. So you got a lot of people that don't want to go deal with that, especially men. They don't have the patience for that. So those men a lot of them are not getting paid until today, because I had several that said they didn't get paid till today. They're going to see you and they're going to come and say, what you got? That's all I got the last couple of days. What you got? I asked a couple of questions. Who you buying something for? Do they have a favorite color? And that kind of thing. And then we go on from there. And then I start showing them what I have. And then they start picking out what they want. And they do not want to go get in none of these lines. So today, they come in, they going to get paid first, and then they going to go figure out, where can I go buy items from? I need to buy some items for such and such, my daughter, my granddaughter, my this, my that. I need to find somebody that I don't have to do nothing. But some of them don't. I'm going to give you a couple. Some of them don't even want to get out of the car. I had one guy buy 2 items for me day before yesterday, Monday, when I first came out. He never got out of the car. He said, can you hold that up? I held it up. Can you hold that one up? I held it up. How much are they? I told him, okay, give me those 2. He never got out of the car. He handed me cash, took the items, and kept on moving. He never got out of his car. I had to bring the item to him. Not a problem. He did not want to get out of the car. So you go out today and you put yourself where you can be seen and watch them come. And believe that they're going to come. Because sometimes we defeat ourselves by sitting out there saying, okay, it's been 3 hours, because I almost did it to myself. It's been 3 hours, ain't nobody coming. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to break down. As soon as I went to get ready to break down, here come my customer. Now, I had already sat out there for 3 hours, 3.5 hours. And I was like, okay, I said 4 hours. 4 hours, I'm shutting down. I ain't staying out here no more. And here come my customers. And all I said was, Lord, I thank you. Because I asked you to bring them. I didn't give you a time frame. I just asked you to bring them. You brought them right when I was about to close. But nevertheless, you bought them. Yeah, no, and what I find a lot of, all of us do it. All of us do it. We pray certain things, but when we pray those things, we don't always believe that those things will happen. It's almost, I tell people sometimes I have crazy faith when it comes down to believing something, but only in certain areas at different times. And that's something that I have to work on, because I've had back problems I retired from the police department in 2001. I've been in 5 accidents. I think it was 5 accidents. All the accidents I got hit in the back. And I knew that over the years, as I got older, I was going to start having arthritis in my back area, because I'd had so many jolts and so many accidents where people ran into the back of me. Well, now that I'm 63 years old, well, I have arthritis all through my back. And there's some days that I can work, there's some days I can't work. Well, I know when to sit down and when to keep moving. But I pray every day. Because like I told him, I said, all you got to do is blow. You can blow on my back, and all the pain that I have can be gone and never come back. I have that kind of crazy faith that you can do that. But in the meantime, since you're not doing that, then I'm just going to deal with the pain that I have to deal with. Because I know I'm not alone, and I know you got me, and you said by his stripes I'm healed. So I'm going to take the healing. It's just when it's going to manifest. I'm going to keep moving. I'm going to keep doing what I have to do. He made the doctors. He made medicine. I'm going to keep doing what I have to do. I'm not going to sit here and be crazy and say, well, I know that God's going to do it, and I'm not taking not one bit of medicine. Well, he guides the doctor's hands. He does all of that. You're correct. He does all of that. So I'm not going to sit there and say, I'm not going to take no medicine. No. Let that pain get hard. Let that pain hit hard enough. And I'm putting medicine in my mouth. And going somewhere and get my heating pad and lay down and whatever it is I have to do to get that pain to subside before I can go get to moving again. And some days I might not be able to move at all. I may not be able to get up. Okay, Lord, I know that this is the day I'm supposed to lay in bed all day. No problem. I'll do it. And I just want to say, I hope that everything that I've talked about tonight, I hope that it has helped someone, or that it is helping someone. I hope a lot of people will be able to go back and look at this live and let it minister to them. Let it help you. Let it give you some ideas. Let it show you. Let it show you, might show you what you're doing, what you're feeling, what you're thinking. But if you take nothing else away from this, just take the fact that put God in your business. Let God lead and direct your business. Let him lead, guide, direct. Because there are times that I will sit down at my, since lots of them call them their designer table, but I got so many different tables. I guess I can call all of them my designing tables, because it's wherever it is I decide to sit at, whichever table. But sometimes I've sat down there and kind of couldn't think any designs and none of that. But this was in my I'm just using my spirit. I'm doing it in my will. And then I had to sit there and go, hold up, wait a minute. Wait a minute, Lord. Forgive me. And then I start talking to him. Guide my hands. Show me what you need me to do. Show me how to do this. And all of a sudden, I will sit there for a minute. And then I'll look back behind me where all my body bath gels and all of that is. And I get an idea. And all of a sudden, I start, next minute, I know I done made 5 baskets. But I sat there first in my own will, trying to figure out a design and couldn't come up with it at all. But then I said, ask him, take over. Guide my hands, show me, give me some ideas, show me what to do. And then I just sit there for a minute, and all of a sudden ideas started coming. And before I know it, I got on my table now, I got 5 or 6 baskets done. Thank you, KBQ. But put God in your business. And just, you'll be so surprised how much and what he will do. He will give you ideas. He will guide you. He will be with you out there on the street. He will bring the people to you. He will keep the ones that don't need to be there, don't mean you no good. He will keep them at bay. But you got to talk to him about all of that. You got to talk to him, and then you got to believe what you've asked him for. Thank you. Thank you so much. It wasn't my plans to be on here for 2 hours, but I've been on here for almost 2 hours. And as I said so many different times already, I just wanted to be an encouragement tonight or this morning. You have a great night also. You have a great night also. And one other thing, especially for new Christians that are just starting out and just learning about the Bible and all of those different kind of things, and you start hearing people, pray and everything, don't let that discourage you. Don't let that throw you off, because some people pray this way, some people pray that way. Praying, when you pray to God, it's just like talking to your husband, your mom, your son, your whatever. I can't say I was a minister, but I was a minister. And when it came down to praying, speaking out in the pulpit, I never liked doing that. And the reason that I never really liked doing that was because I would sit down and have a conversation with God on a regular basis, just like I'm talking right now on this video. I'll be sitting there and I'll be like, well, Lord, this is not working for me, and I'm not really sure what to do. I'm gonna need you to handle this. You just got to take over. I can't do this. I can't do it in my own strength. You said, and see, I'm forever, you said, your word said this, your word said that, your word said this. I'm quick to throw the word back and say, well, your word said this, so this is what I expect. I have those kind of conversations. And so that for that beginner who's just starting to go to church and everything, just because you see people sitting there and you're going, I can't do that. I can't get, he won't hear me. He don't. Talk to him just like you talking to your husband, your son, your sister. Talk to him like that. Because he already knows your heart. And what you're doing is you're showing him your heart. What you're telling him, he already knows. But you got to say it out your mouth. Good night, Rose. Thank you so much for being on this live with me. And I hope I was able to help you. And Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to you also. You're welcome, Kimberly. Yeah, that's the sole purpose of this video. I mean, this live this morning was just so that I could be an encouragement to everyone that looks at this video, and for all of the ones that have been discouraged in the last couple of days, um, being out street selling and saying, I haven't gotten any sales, or if I got a sale, I only got one sale, or I only got two sales. It's coming. It's coming. But the one thing we also have to understand is, like, I had lots of people that came up to me, and like a couple of young men came up to me, that my goddaughter knew, and they wanted to get something for their mom, and they only had $10. And at that time, I didn't have anything that was $10. I had already sold all my $10 stuff and my $15 stuff. I'd already sold them, but I wasn't letting them little boys go. They were maybe 15, 14, 13, somewhere between the 13s to the 15 type deal. I wasn't letting them go back home or go back without getting something. So I grabbed my several things that was $20. I said, pick something from these five. And the little boy picked what he wanted. And then the other young man said, well, if I'm able to get $10 before you leave, can I do that also and get something for my mother? I said, sure you can. I said, go get your $10 and come bring it back to me, and then you pick what you want as well. And the little guy did that. And you talking about the smile on their faces, that was priceless. That was priceless to me, the table, watching them, their smile, saying, I got something to give my mother for Christmas. I got something to give my mother for Christmas too. And those kind of things, God sees our hearts when we do that. I didn't get upset with them because all they had was $10. Oh no, I'll accommodate you. I wasn't going to let them go, because a lot of times they don't do that. So I was not going to be a deterrent and have them say, see, ain't nobody willing to do nothing for me. I didn't want any of that. I didn't want any of that. I blessed both of them, keep it moving on to the next thing. And I'm going to go ahead and get off this live. I just pray that everybody have an awesome selling day today. Be out there, put God first before you do anything else, and then sit back and let him work. Because see, he can't fail. His word tells you he can't fail. He cannot fail. You ask him, he cannot fail. So let him take over, and you sit back and watch him work, because you've already done your part. But you never asked him to be in the midst. You never asked him to take over. Because I had to fuss at my own self. I was like, wait a minute, hold up. You done set up everything, but you ain't asked him to be here. Okay, I asked him to be here. And then I had to stand on the fact that I asked him, but did I now believe he was going to really do it? Because I went 3 hours with not one person buying anything. I'm ready to break down. And here comes my customers, right behind each other. So that's all I wanted to just get on here and say. Be encouraged. Know that he got this. And you're going to have an awesome selling day today. Thank you all for watching my video. Thank you all for hanging out with me. Oh, I said video. I'm sorry. My live. Thank you for hanging out with me. Have a blessed morning, because it's probably about 3 o'clock now. Have a blessed morning. And I'm looking forward to hearing everybody's praise reports on how they did the rest of the day. Take God with you. Let him handle everything. And y'all have an awesome day. And thank you for watching. Bye. Good night or good morning.